Aggie baseball is only 38 days away from the season opener. Adam Young with head coach Brian Green. The schedule is out, and BG 56 regular season games this year, 10 games against Power 5 schools. We'll dissect the schedule here in a moment, but first, your overall thoughts on the schedule and the balance you have this year?
Excited about it. Again, boy, it comes quick, and you get to that January time, you're ready to go. We just got back from the ABCA convention, unbelievable event. Our whole staff went, and I was telling one of the ABC representatives that going to that convention is like checking off your lineup card, and you're just about ready to take it up to the umpires, and you know that the season's right around the corner. But hey, why we're excited about the schedule? It's a great schedule. We've got competitive balance again. We've got tremendous opponents. We've got a nice home and away balance. So we're excited about it, but we've got some really good people on that schedule, and we know we're going to have to come in prepared, and we're excited about it.
You get to stay at home the first 4 weekends, which is special for your program. You open up February 15th against Texas Southern, SWAC powerhouse, a regional team from last year.
You know, all we want to do are play teams that if we're going to play someone early, you put yourself in the best position that somebody was in the postseason last year or is going to be in the postseason, you know, particularly in the WAC with the RPI. You know, how you're going to go about that, it can be a crapshoot. You know, the scheduling is 2 years out. You might put an opponent on the schedule who was their conference champion when you scheduled them, and 2 years later they may have a down year. So you never really know. You just do the best job that you can. But early on, we're bringing in Northern or opponents from the East that are going to come out here. Texas Southern certainly has been a program that's in the postseason. I think it's 3 times in the last 4 or 5 years. Delaware comes in. They're always competing for their conference tournament championship or regular season, as does Yale, and Yale's going to have a really good team. So we're excited about that, and that'll get our guys plenty of opportunity. And then it's on, you know. So we're excited about it, but I think anytime you put that schedule together, you really want to play teams that are going to have the best opportunity to win their conference, because that's going to help your RPI.
Let's talk about Yale. You have them in weekend number 2 at home. You had them here 2 years ago. They were big. They were physical. They were a regional team 2 years ago. You had Harvard in town last year. So 3 straight years now with an Ivy League school.
Yeah, we like that. You know, you're going to play an opponent who's going to come in with class. They're going to respect the game, and they're going to be talented. And we really, both of those programs, we know have an opportunity to win their league. And particularly for us, you know, they're going to come out of being inside the gym, so potentially can be an advantage early on, but it's not. Yale is a great opponent. And when we played them 2 years ago, they asked if they could come back. It was a great series. It was a competitive series. They went after their league championship. So really good opponent. They'll come in. They'll play great defense. They'll pitch, and they'll be competitive. So we're excited.
You're going to have Power 5 midweeks mixed into this schedule this year. We'll talk about that later. Weekend number 3 at home. You have Delaware, 30-plus wins each of the previous 3 seasons. Might not be a huge name opponent for the fans around here, but a quality program.
Yeah, again, AY, you know, scheduling can be a little bit of a challenge for us here, particularly early in the year. So anytime we can get an opponent who's going to go after their league championship, we're going to do that. Obviously, Northern and Northeastern schools are drawn to Las Cruces, and that's been the draw for us, is we can attract with great weather. So, yeah, Delaware might not be a big name, but they're going to compete for their league championship, and for us, again, that's the best way to go after that RPI, and that's what we did. We're really happy they're coming in, because we know they're going to be a good opponent. They're going to be physical, they'll swing the bat, and they're coached really well.
And then in weekend number 4, you host LaSalle for a weekend series. Let's move on to mid-March. You travel to Nebraska, Darren Erstad's team, always a contender there in the conference. And that's going to be a cool trip, because you fly into Omaha, you drive up to Lincoln, and you get a big test on a weekend against a Power 5 opponent.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. You know, last year we did the 5-game swing with Mississippi State, and then we went to Alabama. That was tremendous for our program, and we would love to do that every year, but financially there are times when you just can't do it. This happens to fall into one of those years. The WAC can be crazy with its scheduling in terms of how you're going to travel. This is one of those travel years where we're really on the road a lot in conference play. So we took the extra weekend at home. We're always going to go try to find a big-name opponent, a quality program. This year it happens to be Nebraska, well coached. I mean, Darren Erstad, one of the grittiest big leaguers, great person. Their pitching coach is outstanding. They got a great staff. They're in a great conference. It's an unbelievable facility. And we get a chance to go to Omaha. You know, we moved our Arizona State game on Wednesday, or we moved it to Wednesday. That'll give us the opportunity to take off on Thursday morning and go to Omaha. And our plans are to go by the Mecca, take a look at it, and know what we're all trying to do here. As we all dream to do that, and in college baseball, which is what makes our sport great, dreamers actually can do that if you look at past history. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll go play a really tough opponent. It's got a chance to be cold, and it's really got a chance to make us as tough as we can be entering into conference play.
All right, let's take a look at the midweeks now. Lobos again in the schedule 3 times, twice against Texas Tech, once in Midland, once in Lubbock, 3 times on 3 separate occasions to Tucson to play Arizona. You mentioned Arizona State. UW is new to the schedule. You're going to tag on that Seattle trip with Washington. Some really good opponents, some really good chances for your team in those midweeks.
Yeah, and as the program progresses, those are big opportunities for us, and depth on the mound is so critical. We were closer last year in terms of having enough pitching. We were going to play quality defense, and we were going to compete at the plate. But, those midweeks are huge opportunities for us, AY. I mean, these are RPI opportunities. These are big-name opponent opportunities. These are confidence opportunities. The one win last year when Justin Dane shut out Alabama, that was a big confidence boost for our kids. The Fullerton scrimmage this year was a huge confidence boost for our kids. So we hope that Nebraska can do that. Obviously, twice against Tech. The Midland game is outstanding. They do an unbelievable job there. It's a huge crowd. The Lobo game is always competitive. Arizona State, and Washington to back up after Seattle on that trip. So those are tremendous opportunities for us. They bring the schedule into real competitive balance, and those are great opportunities for us in the midweeks. And for us to really take that next step as a program, we've got to do something in those. And our kids know that. Our coaching staff knows it, and we're excited about going at it. This is the biggest number that we've had, so we'll make a run at it, but we're excited about it.
And if you go to a regional, you're probably going to go to Lubbock or Tucson or Phoenix. So you're going to play Arizona State. You're going to play Arizona in Tucson. You're going to play Texas Tech in Lubbock. Those are 3 venues where if you make a regional, you're probably going to be at one of those venues.
Yeah, that's the goal, and we're still on that high from that WAC tournament championship. So, but yeah, we were familiar with Texas Tech, and now let's go be hopefully. Our goals are real simple, and let's be familiar with going into that environment and winning. So we're excited about it. But yeah, no question. The reality is, if you do get to the postseason, the WAC team that's going to win the postseason tournament is potentially going to be playing in one of those spots if they do their job. So it's certainly there for us.
Your first year, you played Seattle in a weekend series in Seattle, then traveled to Pullman for a Monday game against Washington State. This year, you're going to play Washington on a Monday game after that Seattle road series. And that's an interesting placement of the game, too, because it's going to be in May when you're already in conference season, but you get to see where you stack up against a Pac-12 school near regional time.
Yeah, really close, but it's Seattle to Seattle. It's UW, and now this is an Omaha team, which will be an awesome experience for our kids. Beautiful stadium, beautiful setting at the University of Washington. So we were really excited at the opportunity to do that, and when that opportunity came about, we're like, we have to do this. So we shortened up one game to be able to do that. But yeah, and we'll do it in May, so hopefully, weather permitting, it should be nice there in May. But either way, great opportunity for us.
BG, let's finish with this. Putting together the schedule right now. You've won 109 games the last 3 years. Is it easier to put together a schedule, or is it harder because of how good your program's been?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's so many things that go into it, AY. You want to do the best job that you can as a program to put yourself in the best position to be competitive. There's 3 seasons. There's a preseason, and then there's a mid-season, and then there's potentially and hopefully a postseason after the WAC tournament. But you're doing it in stages. And for us, we want to do the best job that we can to create competitive balance, confidence early, opportunities to get a lot of guys in, come into conference play where you've really got a set group that are going to get their fair share of the playing time. But with regards to putting a schedule together, there's more factors than not here than potentially at other programs. Finances are a big part of it. And then for us, our conference RPI, all of us are working really hard to get that thing up. But RPI is where it is right now, and you've got to have a nice number. So you could potentially scare somebody if your RPI isn't great, where if you beat them, you can really hurt them. So that's a challenge for, I think, anybody in the WAC conference, because it's a quality conference, and people know that. Mm-hmm. You get Sac State, you get GCU, CBU is going to come in. Here's Seattle. These are programs that have done some damage in the midweeks. and that can scare some opponents. So from that regard, it can be challenging because of the conference RPI. But our conference is tough, and it's getting better, and that's what's going to continue to make it easier. But it can be a challenge right now. So we just do the best job that we can of creating balance. And we like our schedule again. 4 home weekends in a row, 4-game series, then go to Nebraska, and now you're primed to go into conference play where you better be as competitive as you can.
BG, thanks so much. The opener is only 38 days away.
Yeah, it's on. It's coming, and it's coming fast. So we'll go meet as a staff, and we'll get our list put together, and then we'll go to work. But it's head down time, and I think any coach will tell you that we're all ready to get going.
That's Aggie head coach Brian Green.